And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back into the Dragon's Den. My name is Digital Dragon. I'm a 3D printing variety streamer here on Twitch. That means we do everything from machine unboxings like our X1 Carbons to full printer builds like our Vorons over here to taking part in various beta tests and test groups such as the box turtles. We've done several hot ends, beta testing, and a few other things. So thank you all for coming on in. Hope everyone's doing well today. Hey, Pete, how's it going? Welcome in. I think I saw Timor lurking around in there as well. So hope everybody's doing good today. Sorry for being a minute or two late. I was on the phone with Mrs. Dragon getting some updates. I've got two different people on her side of the family that are in for surgery right now. So one out here on the East Coast and one out in Colorado. So just trying to play phone tag with everybody. If my phone does ring and I have to put you on hold, just please be cognizant and aware. Hey, Shenanigans, how's it going? Hope you're doing good, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So where are we at? We're on the Micron build. Let me go ahead and switch our screen here. So we've got a lot of done on the Micron build. We've got our screen installed last stream. Yeah, we got the screen installed. We got our bed all installed. We've got almost everything on our tool head wired up. We still have one wire here, which is the filament runout sensor, and we'll need the wiring for our PZ probe. Now, the PZ probe wiring, I really do not want to cut the initial wire loom that comes with it because it is set to have 3 wires that will plug into a standard in-stop location, right? Ground, power, and signal. But the other 4 cables that are on that overall cable allow you to connect in and communicate with the board if you need to change sensitivities or reprogram the board. So I do not want to cut that base cable up, right? So I did some looking this afternoon and finally found the right stream of Steve Build stream and the right time in that stream to figure out that these are JST SH connectors. Okay, so let me grab that cable and I will show you what we're working with. Okay, so this is a JST SH connector right here. So this is 7 wires. Focus. Hey, focus. Come on. There we go. That is 7 wires right there. And looks like a lot more than 7 wires. 8 wires. Yeah, 8 wires, but we only need 3 wires. So as you'll see here on the other end, we have a 3-pin JST connector, a 2-pin DuPont, another 2-pin DuPont, and then a single-pin DuPont. And each one of these will plug in to allow GPIO, I2C, or DP something type of connection to be able to talk and reprogram this board. So I do not want to cut this wire harness up. So what I did was I ordered a JST SH kit. It should be here tomorrow. And I will make this. It'll come with some pre-made wires, or yeah, some pre-crimped wires. So all I need to do is grab this connector, plug in the appropriate wires on one end, cut them to length and create the connector on the other side there. And we'll get that plugged in and going. So, yeah, that's what that status is there. But we should be able to do everything else ahead of that and get it going. And from where we're at, what else do we have left? We've got our daylight on a matchstick to install. Now, I printed out these mounts here, which are supposed to be able to snap in like that. The tolerances are off. Like if I'm going to set them up like that, hey, it'll probably work, but that's not how we use these. So I'm going to have to try and find different 15-15 mounts for these. And then we'll wire these in. That can be an afterthought. It's lights. It doesn't affect how the machine itself operates, which is what we would be concerned with. The other thing that we can do is we can put in and route the Cat5 connector, standard keystone jack, Blue Chocobo, aka Zura, did provide a cable that we could use to extend that port out. We just have to run it around and get that in there. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. The day's been kind of crazy, but such is life. Such is life. Dealing with work stuff. All right. Get in there, darn you. Yeah. What's going on here? You really want to go that way? I always have fun getting these keystone jacks going in. I don't know if it's a print tolerance thing or if it's just the okay, there we go. It just wanted to be in the opposite direction I was trying to put it in there. That makes sense. So that plugs in there. We'll bring this down and around like the rest of our wires. And trying to keep all of our wiring pushed back and away from fans and stuff like that. We'll have some excess that we'll zip tie up here. That gets plugged in there. This excess will bring together and do a couple of zip ties right there. Now, I haven't done any panel stuff yet, and we haven't done any, we're going to work on the door as well here in a little bit. But beyond that, we're pretty much just, let's play around and get the, whatchamacallit, the software going on this thing. We should have the Raspberry Pi configured, and we've got all of our CAN bus stuff configured. Well, darn you, come here. So it's just a matter of going in and getting the rest of Clipper configured and set up for it'll be one of those days. Hey, Shrimp Father. Hey, Petty Ruxpin. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you're doing well. My day is going good. Just a little bit flustered with some stuff going on with work. And like I said, we've got 2 people in for surgery, one on the East Coast and one out in Colorado. So my brain's a little muddled. Everyone's okay. They're pretty routine surgeries, but the people themselves are just high risk in nature. So all right, so those are there. We'll bring this back over here. Plug that back in. All right. And we're going to plug this in and see how we're doing. We should be able to come up. We'll see whatever lights and stuff. Because I don't think we'll have an issue with the... Oh. I'm going to have to shut that off. We won't have an issue with that filament sensor not being plugged in or the PZ probe not being plugged in at this point. Lights are on. We're getting a screen coming up. That's good. Screen's in the correct orientation, so I did something there right. Actually, I had that working before I even put it in there. Now that's not good. It should not come into the Micron login screen. That makes me a little nervous. Go into Putty. We'll go into Micron.local. 32. Pi. Raspberry. Okay, so we are in. Let me switch over here to the full display. So we are in. Trying to see if I'll be able to somehow get a keyboard over here. Let's do a ./Kaya/Kaya.sh. Do we not have Kaya on here? Apparently we do not yet. Well, that's going to stink. So we'll need to put Kaya on here first. We could do Clipper Screen directly without going through Kaya, but Clipper Screen actually directs you to go use Kaya, so we'll just run through the process and make sure that we get Clipper Screen installed. Because if Kaya's not on there, then Clipper screen's not on there. The screen is configured right because it's coming up, but the reason it's not bringing Clipper screen up is because Clipper screen is not installed. So work stuff can always go better. I'm with you. We've been dealing with like 3 security events going on that they haven't actually called an event yet. They're just like, oh well, here's a tracking number for it, but we're not actually going to call it, so we're not going to bring anything to bear. And we're supposed to be off tomorrow as a day for me, and I can almost get the sneaky feeling like they're going to actually call it an event today, and then the whole weekend gets screwed because we're doing this big event thing. You fished a burger, looking for a place to lurk while you tidy up the office? Well, there you go. This is a good place to lurk as any. Okay, so so that was good. Now we're going to copy this command, which is going to download the Kaya software. Yeah, like I said, if you guys remember on a previous stream, we set up the Leviathan, the Pi, the GBB15, and the tool head. So the fact that, we're getting lights all the way to the tool head, and I'm pretty sure everything's talking all the way to the tool head, we're pretty good. In fact, I can come over here and just go Micron local. Okay, we do have a Clipper error. Horizontal move Z not a valid in probe section. Well, that means it's at least parsing things. And we don't have a probe section. That must be over in the PZ probe config. For whatever reason, it does not like that particular line. Mesh men is not valid in section probe. Huh? Yeah, it is. Now I need to figure out, is there a syntax error somewhere? Oh, you know what? Yeah, mesh min and mesh max would not be. So the reason these aren't good in probe is because these should be in the whatchamacallit. Those should be in your bed mesh section. Probe count 5x5 will be in your bed mesh section. Bicubic bed mesh. Actually, so I'm wondering if I should just ADC out of range for the heater bed. Okay. Not liking the heater bed. We'll figure that out in a second. Let's go ahead and finish getting our clipper installed with Kaya. The good news is everything's coming up. Bad news is well, we have an issue. Always more complicated when you start plugging things in, huh? Okay, so we've got basic install. So we're going to need to do an install. We're going to select 5 for clipper screen. And it's going to go through and do its stuff. And yeah, just other work stuff of everybody here all of the teams here have just been rejiggered yet again. So it's like nobody has a clue who's doing what anymore. And it just makes it more of a pain in the butt. So there's always that kind of fun. We're going to accept the default there. Back end, I always want X server. Ooh, you're eating a sub sandwich. That's good. Oh yeah, one thing I do want you all to remember is Saturday. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do because Saturday is the next maker meetup here in Raleigh. So I may take this as we're working on it and take it down to the store with me early and stream from the store. We'll stream some of this until they open, and then we'll call the stream and I'll do the maker meetup. So that's potentially what we're going to do Saturday. Look for a stream at some point tomorrow because I am off tomorrow. And we've got a few things to work on to tidy up, like, the rift, we've got movement on it. We just need to add the other deck panel and like calibrate E-steps, try and push plastic on it. And this one, we're going to validate all the movement and stuff before we even think about doing, anything like putting panels and stuff on. So, yeah. All right. So while it's doing that, this took an ADC out of range error on the bed heater. So let me make sure that, I actually plugged the bed heater in. Pretty sure I did. Oh, would you looky there? The bed heater had actually come undone. So which one's the bed heater? That's too bright. I'm going to go PA2. I'm not sure, but yeah, it looks like something hung and froze when I put it over on its side. So we will reboot. Not sure what happened there. Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying, Timor. I have the ability that I can roll out there with y'all, and I'll do the stream from the Maker meetup, and potentially have you guys on. I most likely would not be interacting, but more of just have you all there while we're in the process. All right, so yeah, restart. My Raspberry. Um, Upper screen. Let's install. Upper screen did not complete, so we will go ahead and go through that process again. But yeah, that's what I'll do is I'll take my cameras and stuff and we'll stream a little bit from the store, and then when everybody starts coming in and stuff like that, then we'll adjust. Hey Pezlus, how are you? Hopefully you're doing well. So what we're working on is we've got the everything wired up except for the two things on the tool head. We need to wire up the filament runout sensor and then the PZ probe still. And the PZ probe requires JST-SH, which I do not have. I did order some, and they will be here tomorrow. So we should be able to finish that up. But for right now, we're going to make sure that everything else is kind of working. And that sucks you out of the flu, Pez Liz. I am sorry. So many of us are sick. I am still hecka congested right now. In fact, I am going to mute you all and take care of my nose real fast. Okay. Yeah, I hope it clears up soon. We got a lot of, I know Mrs. Dragon and her mom are dealing with strep throat right now. Yes, lots of fluid and rest, that is for sure. You know, a couple of other things that I wanted to get added on here would be these pieces that go on like this, and they're crap catchers, and this is just going to enable them or enable us to collect all the stuff that comes off the bed that doesn't get down underneath and everywhere. So this is a pretty neat little thing. Hey, Thunder Keys, how's it going? Yeah, better now than in 2 weeks. That is a truthful statement there, Thunder Keys. Get it now before you travel, and stay safe and not sick during travel. Oh, are you not going to go in? Oh, seriously. All right, we'll make those work. We are going to make those work because I like that idea and concept. So how's it going, Thunder Keys? Hope you're doing well. We're installing Clipper Screen. Trying to get this all sorted out, and we're getting close to the finale of this build. You know, we're going to make sure that we can move things around, and then it becomes just getting down to the nitty gritty of tying up the loose ends, installing lights, putting on panels, stuff like that. Um, Top panels, deck panels, final wiring on the um, cool head. Oh, and did Petty get a cereal for a box turtle? Awesome. We'll also have the colony clacker door to put on, which is basically a clicky clack for the small printers. That's why we've got this big ledge out here, is to support that pop out to do the door. We could probably work on installing that here if we get things moving. Come on, darn it. All right, it's doing its reboot. Bum, 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 bum. What is going on now? Ah, there you go. ADC is out of range, and I think it's because I probably put the bed heater into a pin that we had not configured yet. Da, 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 da. Bed heater. Heater pin. Bed heater. That's awesome. Okay. We have a LDO Leviathan. LDO Leviathan. Where is your bed heater config at? EA2. What did I just put it in? Yeah, I'm going to put it into PA2. Okay. Did it come undone again? That is the question. Right. Well, whatever we did, we just reset the printer again, so that's awesome. Yeah, it's going into PA2, which is the right spot. Wires are good there. PA2. Wires are not popping out. Those wires should be strain relieved. Hey, Killer, how's it going? course. Why not? Standard, we tighten down and then we just crack 3 of them and leave 1 tightened down. That allows for the expansion. Got things back in the right spot. We're going to plug our cable back in, and now that our thermistor plugs are plugged in, let's see if our printer will actually stay up and on. All right, new problem. I think I figured out why the power keeps dropping out when I move this, and it's the switch. So I'm going to have to buy a new switch. The actual toggle switch portion is, we'll say, finicky. Hey, Philinux, how's it going? Clipper screen is up. So proof is in the pudding. So we do have clipper screen up there. And that also means that our mainsail interface is going to be up and running for us. So that's good. Now, in our mainsail interface, do yourself a favor and just do not update Clipper. Once you get everything set up, unless there is a specific call out to update Clipper, do yourself a favor, do not update Clipper. Because you update Clipper, you're going to have to update everything else, and it just goes from bad to worse most of the time. So, all right. So what we've got now is we've got the whatchamacallit's done. We've got all the bed stuff mounted. We'll need to install the panels once we start getting things validated, right? We're going to go through the commissioning process. Update every week. No. I have nightmares about Clipper updates. We do have a full panel kit for this, but I'm not going to put any of the panels on, especially not the deck panel on yet, because we still need to do we need to add the lights up here. And I'm going to have to look for another mounting option because these little clips right here do not work. They are way too loose. This is not a clip fit, which is what I was expecting, and they just fall off. So you sit here and try and clip them in, and they just fall back off. So I'm going to have to come up with a different mounting mechanism than these. Preferably ones that just screw in and then we screw the thing on. Yeah, exactly. They do not, like, they're made probably for a specific 1515 rail type, because believe it or not, there's more than one rail type that meets the spec. So, yeah, I just don't know. What are some of these other mods I was looking at? Oh no, don't need that. And there's our crap catchers. Let's see if we've got anything in here. Something like that might work, but that's a press fit. We'll give those a shot. I'll print up some of those. You might try sizing them up a bit. Yeah. Well, I wonder if it deals with, I doubt if it's just the shrinkage of my material, because that's a small print to get that much shrinkage. So, yeah, I think they just allowed for too much tolerance. All right, so what I tend to do is use the Voron documentation. And let me just go all the way up here to the start. Mainsail fluid. It's going to basically be tap once we get that installed. Da 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 da. Temperatures. Are we getting temperatures? We were. We were getting temperatures. They were not going all over the place. Verify heaters. We'll do that in a second. And then we'll do stepper buzz. Yeah, so like I said, there's a potential I take this with me when I go to when I go over to Ecovate tomorrow for our monthly maker meetup. And I'll stream from the store. We'll try and push some plastic and do a basic print while we're there. And then, once noon hits and people start showing up and we get ready for the maker meetup, we'll Call the stream or go into just watch mode. All right, while I'm waiting for the updates to finish, I'm just going to check on some things. Like I said, I do have 2 people that are in surgery at the moment, so I'm just making sure I don't have any updates on those. And I knew it. 5 p.m., all of a sudden they're like, hey, let's take action on this. 5 p.m. on the day when we're going to have a day off and we're dealing with a data center move. Gotta love people. Hey, Kenneth E., how you doing? Hey, Bexy, how you doing? You need help? It's 11:55. Do I make another cup of tea so I can enjoy Dragon Stream longer? Well, that depends. Do you need sleep and do you have to work tomorrow? You don't need sleep and you don't need to work tomorrow, then more tea. Yeah, people are so great. Exactly. Exactly. Good gracious. How many update like we updated this when we built this a few weeks ago. Like how many updates have to be installed? Good gracious. So yeah, folks, we've been give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a couple of filaments. Let's see. Okay, so I've got these two. This one. And we'll grab, that's Bissell Red. I think that's the Cosmic. Okay. So we're going to do some show and tell since we have Pez here. So I stopped by EPAX on Tuesday because they got in their new stock of ASA filaments. Now this one is PLA, but this is the Cosmic Plum. This is has a little bit of a sparkly sheen to it. This is the Cosmic Plum. I got ASA in this color. Right? So we got some ASA in this color. And I think we had opened this one up before. Yes, we did. The Ender 3 NG build that we will be doing when we get back from 3D Printopia. I had already decided. Now this is burnt titanium, but I believe they did tell me that dark magic is the new name for this color. But this is the burnt titanium. Once again, ASA. And we're going to contrast that with an orange. So burnt titanium and orange is going to be the color scheme for the Ender 3 NG. Yes, ASA and ABS, you want to have an enclosed machine because it helps reduce the warping, and you'll want some type of filtration or very good airflow because it does produce a lot of VOCs and smelly stuff. Whoops, let's put this back in its bag. Try and keep it somewhat dry until we go to use it. I have started printing out parts for the scale changer build, and that's coming along very well. And I will start putting parts for the Ender 3 NG as well. And when I get back from 3D Printopia, because Pez Liz is awesome, she has offered to pick up, well, not offered to pick up, but I shipped some Sparta 3D filament to her to finish off the prints for the Stealth Changer, as well as a couple of colors, which is the fluorescent red and old copper that Iron Dragon is built in. Iron Dragon being our Trident back here in the corner. So we're going to take this apart and rebuild it with an enclosure. So it'll have an enclosed box turtle on it. And we'll take the tool head that's in there off and we'll put a Jabberwocky in its place. So that'll be the other Jabberwocky. So we're going to be printing some of that stuff. And then this one here, I don't really want to take it out, but this is the Sparkle Blue ASA that they just got in. So if you're at 3D Printopia, EPAX 3D is going to be there. They're going to be, I think, like right behind the LDO booth, which will be near my booth as well, because I will be right across from the LDO booth on the outer edge. And let them know if you're interested in their engineering filaments, their ASA, their ABSs and stuff. Right? Hey, Adam, how's it going? Yeah, I have published the, I think, first 6 or 7 videos of this Micron build on Twitch, and they're over and being prepped for release over on YouTube. So I'm going to release them every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. A new video will come out. So first one will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then Monday there will be 2 videos that will come out, 2 and 2A, because remember we had the stream drop that time. And then 3 on Wednesday, 4 on a week from tomorrow. And then we'll just keep releasing them 3 a week. But, yeah. Good gracious. Come on and finish updates already. So yeah, we went down and picked out the colors that we're going to use for this build. We got some new colors as well, because we can never not go down and spend money on filament, because, like, why? So, like I said, I had some of the stairs empty. Now they're collecting again so that we can start printing new parts for new printers. Well, luckily, the Inner 3NG is the only new printer. We're going to do some box turtle rebuilds. We're going to do the Stealth Changer upgrade. So 2 of our next projects are going to be upgrading these 2 Vorons, which is some of our oldest printers here in the Dragon Den. This was the first Voron, big one that I built, and this was with the PIF printed parts. That's why this is a 2.4. It's getting the Stealth Changer, which is why I needed the Sparkle Fluorescent Pink from Sparta 3D, because that's what was used in this in the PIF parts. And then I liked the filament so well that I got the Sparkle Fluorescent Red and Sparkle Old Copper for Iron Dragon. So when I rebuild this, it's going to get color matched and have the enclosure. This box turtle is going to go away. We're going to completely rebuild this. We'll put an LDO Leviathan board in it. We'll change the tool heads all over to Nighthawks. So we're going to get rid of all the CAN bus out of this one. It's going to go all 100% USB and be basically rebuilt. So not completely rebuilt, but the tool head's going to go away. The Stealth Burner Filomatrix tool head's going to go away. That box turtle is going to come down and be rebuilt and find a new home, or just find a new home. The other thing that's going to happen on the Trident is I just ordered the LDO all-wheel drive kit for the Trident, and a full set of 4 HT motors for this. So this is getting upgraded that way as well. So we'll do a little bit. We're showing some love to one of our workhorses. And by the way, this is the printer that I've used to test like 3 different hot ends now. So because it's got the blacked out, the smoked enclosure, it's really good because I can run tests in there and not have to worry about it being caught on stream. So that one's always good. And we are still updating, if you can imagine that. I don't know if it's like hung or what, because it's been hung on this particular package for like 15 minutes. Oh, it says here package update finished. That just did not update. That's nice. So we've been sitting here waiting for it to finish updating, and it was already done updating. We'll update Moonraker. That's a pretty quick and easy one. What you don't want to do is update Clipper itself. If you update Clipper yourself, chances are you're going to be going through and doing a bunch more updating of all the other, like the GBB15, the EBB36, possibly the Leviathan, and it just gets painful from there. Okay, so let's go back over here to the full display. And you'll see that we've got quite a few options here. We've got a chamber thermistor that I did not install. That's why it's reading negative 82. I will install that off camera. It's just taking a standard cartridge style thermistor. We're going to mount it on the the Z guide piece here, and then we'll bring it around and we'll literally plug it into the GBB15 because there's thermistor ports on the GBB15. Well, Bexy, I had two more spools I was going to send that direction. I will send it to your direction now. So we've got the extruder reading 38.8, the heated bed reading 22.8. There's another chamber, right? And this chamber, I believe, is potentially picking up the EBB board chamber temp. God, we got gantry temp, MCU, motor A, motor B, sock. We got all the sensors. We're going to have to go through and look at those and figure out. I have a feeling that some of those are duplicative. Yeah, motor A and motor B is there. It's configured, but there's nothing plugged in. So yeah, I'll fix those and take some of that stuff out. The big thing is on the extruder, if I say go to 100, does the extruder start heating up? And do we get a fan turn on? Yeah, the fan turned on. It is heating up. It is the nozzle that heated up. So that's good. Same thing for the bed. We'll turn the nozzle off. We'll go ahead and start heating the bed. Now, what we're also going to look for is that the fan shuts off when it gets to 50C. So once we start getting closer, I'll turn my light back on and I'll keep an eye on it. I like the Revo hot ends. I've got several of them. Several, like all of my Mark IIIs over at Evil Diesel's house has them. The two Vorons here had them until I started doing some beta testing hot ends on the Trident. The other Trident downstairs got one taken off and now has a tube. And the 0G that we just finished rebuilding had a Revo in it, and we swapped it for something else. Okay. So heated bed is not heating at expected rate. Verify heater section. Okay, well, that's not good. So I'm going to wait and make sure that this shuts off at 50C. And then we'll start figuring out the other heater issue. The other thing we can do is check our fan. Yep, both of our cooling fans, our part cooling fans kick on. If that helps drop our hot end temperature a little faster. Hey Jedi Spidey, how's it going? We're doing some initial commissioning testing, and I'm just making sure that various things do what they're supposed to do. Our part cooling fans do kick on. Our hot end fan just kicked off as it dropped below 50 C on the hot end, so that's good. Come down here and turn the fan off. The case light is set to 100. That would be our lights up here, which we're not running. Filter, does our filter fan work? Filter fan is working. Controller fans are currently not running. Did we configure the controller fans? I don't think we did. Let's go in. We'll take a look at a few things here. Because I think we've got a few things that are configured over the top of each other. Temperature sensor MCU, sensor SOC, temperature tool head board. Include mainsail, include LDO Leviathan, include EBB 36 config. Okay. Heater, bed heater. SSR pin HE1. Okay, we'll have to check and see where we're plugged into. We may not be going off of that pin, so we'll double check. Including the PZ probe. Okay, so fan number 1, part cooling fan, is on the tool head board. The hot end fan is on the tool head board. The microcontroller fan says MCU fan. So this is where we need to change. And because we did it, let's see, clipper, multiple pin. Oh, come on. I've done this a couple of times. I just can't remember where I did it. Here we go. Multi-pin. Okay, so we just need this layout, comma separated. And we're going into the first two, which should be PC fan and HE fan, which I should be able to call out that same way. So let's check. What is the Leviathan? I'll just call the pen directly. Fans. PB7, PB3. And then pin here becomes controller fin pin. Okay, so that should fix that. We don't have chamber lighting in yet, but we will. So we'll leave that there. Generic filter, bed fan control, heater, chamber, generic. What the hell is this? Okay, so this is using for the bed fan control. So that would be for these two. So it turns the bed fans on when the chamber temp. We're gonna have to see what the chamber temp on the Leviathan is set to. Sensor pin chamber temp. We'll have to see what that's set to. Okay, so that is chamber temp. We'll save our changes here. We're not going to restart because we want to come over and look at the LDO Leviathan and figure out what the chamber temp is set to. Chamber temp is set to PA0. PA0. L is PA0. So that's thermistor 2 would be PA0. So that would be yet another thermistor that's added in here, which could be this chamber one that we want to use back here that we'll add to the GBB15. So we'll have to update that once we get that installed. Or at the very least, let me see here. What do I got? Bear with me 1 second, folks. tell you, I've got a whole slew of thermistors available. And I'm going to have to route this and get that laid in there. But if I were to be able to lay this down without this switch resetting on me, fingers crossed, but I doubt if that's going to happen because it's reset on me twice now. This was going into T8 or PA0, which is thermistor 2. 0, 1, 2, 3. Into there. I should route that a little bit better. See is how it will come around and go up that way. Yep. And I just reset the board a couple, 3 times. That's awesome. That's awesome. Bring that there. Bring this around. And it will eventually come up here. That switch is so incredibly fiddly. This will be our chamber temperature for right now. I will need to get it added. We'll run it up through the chain, down around, pop it in here. I could literally add it here, but we'll get rid of those motor configs as well here in a minute. Let's get logged back in. Controller fan pins is not a valid pin name on MCU. Here it is. Multi underscore pin, my multi pin. On a separated list of pins associated with this alias, this parameter must be provided. And so it was. Close that. Back to printer config. Multi-pin controller fan pins. Thanks for the alert, Jedi Spidey. Hey, Mad Scientist Slack, how's it going? Doing well. Doing well. Fighting configs. Fighting configs. Oh, there we go. That would be why. That would be why. Because we need to do multi-pin colon my MCU fan. Bed fan is an alias for PB3. Of course it is. Of course it is. So did I put the fans in the wrong spot? 0, 1, 2, 3. Because I didn't join them into one or the other. So, okay. So PF7, PF9, which is bed fan, filter fan is PF7. So the other fan would have went into PF9, which is MCU fan 3. Oh my God, you're killing me. MCU fan is PB7. Fan 0, yes. So fan 3, PF9 is what they're calling MCU fan 3. That needs to be PF9. And this just needs to be crossed out. Yay, okay. Filter fans still work. Filter fans still work. Now these fans should only come on when the chamber heater is being told to heat up. Currently our chamber heater is reading 21.7, so that's the chamber heater that I just installed. Or one of them is, for crimey's sake. It's got to be this one, because if I say 60, these two fans just turned on, and you would think the bed heater would turn on. Is this going to be blowing underneath the bed? And as soon as I told the bed to heat up, we just... Oh yeah. Chamber heater wasn't going, so I understand that. So I just found out about this parameter. So on the riff, right, one bed goes into the bed heater, the other bed is a generic heater. On a generic heater, it defaults to a 20-second timeout, which means if it hasn't moved 2 degrees in that 20-second timeout, then it fails. So what we need to do is do a verify heater for that heater and set it to at least check gain time of 60. So machine, printer. Chamber filter, bed fan control. Yeah, so heater generic chamber. We need a verify heater command. That was what it was. Yeah, verify heater. And at the very least, we need the check gain time. Set to 60. So that means it needs to heat up 2 degrees within a minute. Otherwise, it fails. And since we're open air, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it beneath the bed, but not in the path of the fan, because otherwise the fan will skew the results. We'll save and restart. Okay. So we're going to turn the heated bed to 60. And we're going to want this to kind of jump up to 20, well, probably 30. All right, that's not moving up at all, so I will shut that off before that causes a problem, but I'm not even feeling the bed heat up yet. And it's not heating up, so did we connect that? It's probably the fact that I connected the bed into the typical bed and not into HE1 or whatever, so I'm going to shut this down. Oh, hold on, before I do that. Bed heater PG11. Hey, Waters, how's it going? HE1 is where it wants to go into. We're going to go ahead and shut this down because I know that the switch back here is so flaky. I really need to swap it out. It's that's it. Yeah. So the bed heater is not going to work because the bed heater's not wired up. So let me solve that problem. Luckily, this does not need to be, this is just a signaling wire, so it doesn't need to be like super duper high gauge or anything like that. So let me see if I've got some wire that's already pre-made that might work. There's one. Gonna work. We'll need this. Yeah. When you don't connect your wire, or when you don't connect wires up, it's going to be kind of hard for it to do its job. Hey, thanks for the resubscribe, Waters. 6 months. Subscribed at Tier 1 for 6 months in advance. And you've been subscribed for 4 months. Well, thank you. That is awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I just threw the other cable on the ground. Are you feeling any better, Waters? That's good. I'm still congested as all get out, but kind of thinking that it's not my normal, but maybe a semi-normal for me right now. I'm off tomorrow, so I got to run some errands. May run by the doctor or the urgent care, something like that. All right. Screwdriver, screwdriver, screwdriver. I cannot believe that I had never actually done this side of the wiring. Positive comes up this way. Negative, come up the same way. Okay. Quick enough fix. Where'd the cable go? There it is. Quick enough fix. Plug that in. Turn the switch on. Play jiggly jiggly with it. And let me double check. I may have one of those same style switches, so if I do, great. If I don't, I'll reach out and grab one real fast. Look at that. So the issue is, whoop. So brand new switch. The issue is this switch right here. See how that's nice sounding? The one here, it makes very little click and it wobbles side to side. So yeah, I really don't like that particular switch, and we're going to have to swap that out. Okay, so where are we at? We're plugged back in. We've got good stuff. We're going to see if our heater is working better now. Hey, the heater temperature is going up. Now we're going to put the chamber temp on, and I'm going to take this once again and stick it down underneath the main part of the bed. That way it'll pick up on the bed heat and not the air that's being blown out underneath the bed. And it doesn't do an automatic shut off on us, hopefully. So that chamber's doing good. Now we've got another chamber defined, a gantry tip defined, and these are reading, right? So chamber might be the one on the tool head board. Gantry tip might also be one on the tool head board. I don't know. MCU would be the Leviathan. The motor A and B are coming off the GBB15. Nothing's plugged in. That's why they're negative. The sock is the, I think that's the host controller. And tool head board is the actual tool head board here. So we've still got a couple of things Yeah, which one did it complain about? Yeah, the chamber heating, the verify. That's fine, and I'm not going to keep playing with that just because I know it's not going to heat fast enough because we're in open air. I just wanted to make sure that we stop getting an ADC error out of it, which everything's working as planned. So I need to figure out where this, the motor A, motor B, and kill those. Temperature sensor chamber. So we have that set up. And this is the SMD thermistor on the GB15. So this is the GBB15 sensor. And gantry temp is all right. If we're going all the way back to the board for chamber temp, then I can take this one out. If we're going to take this out and shorten it up and just go right to the GBB15, then we can do that. Maybe. Yes, this is that. And that's reading on the SMD. So I think what we can do is take this, copy that pen because this is working. It needs that pull-up resistor. I'm trying to see. This is again, this is the SM. Yeah, let me just, we're going to turn that one off. And we'll turn these two off because we're not using either one of these two currently. We could use one of these if real fast, the GBB 15. Our USB-C is here. Cap on this side. So USB-C and cap. So this is motor B. This is motor A. The thermistor here. The thermistor there. So I could literally unplug this, plug this in right here, bring it around, plug it in right there, and we've got a thermistor on the MMB here that we can use, and that way the only thing going through the cable chain remains our thing there. So we're going to do that, and that's going to go into this side. Which is the motor A thermistor. Wow, this is hurting my brain. Motor A thermistor. This is the one we're going to leave active. And that's the one we're going to go into is the one right here. Good golly almighty. The only thing I need to figure out is, are those JST, those are the small ones, the PH, I think. All right, so we'll keep that there. We can keep gantry temp. Can I change this to GBB 15? Not without going through and changing everything else. Of course. Why would it be easy? I don't want to do a save and replace. Hey Kenneth, how's it going? All right, so we got rid of a few. Motor A is still there, but motor A is going to be our chamber temperature. Potentially. Can I change that name to chamber? Temperature sensor motor A. Yeah, we're back to 2 chamber temps. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm making too many changes to files that can be easily overwritten. So motor A, will cut this out. We've got a chamber temp here. It will work. We just need to get it mounted, routed all the way around. I can do that off stream because it'll be easier. We verified that the extruder and the heated bed heats up, that the bed fans will kick on when we turn the chamber temp on to get our chamber up to speed or up to heat. We may have to check the verify heater and actually make it a longer wait time for temp change, but that's okay. Once again, gantry temp is somewhere down here. Where is our MCU temps called out? I was gonna say, that says uncomment for Nighthawk. We're not using a Nighthawk, we're using EBB 36. Oh, don't worry, it's getting overwritten anyhow. Right. There's that. Let's start. Where are our heaters defined, or our temperatures defined? Oh, up here. Leviathan, the sock should be RPI. Toolhead board is toolhead board, but we'll go EBB 36. Now that makes sense. And now that my brain's working, instead of gantry temp, we'll call this GBB 15. And that will give me what I'm looking for as far as proper naming up here, so we can tell what board is temperature at what. Yay, brain works tonight. Oh. Okay, where were we at? We've got stepper buzz. Let's do a stepper buzz. Who wants to do a stepper buzz? Now, before I do a stepper buzz, though, let me see. Can I push these down some? Give us a little bit of room. Sure. Give us a little bit of room there. So we're going to do a stepper buzz X. I think that worked in the right direction. Z, wrong direction. B1, wrong direction. And I'm pretty sure all of them are going to be in the wrong direction, but they should be going down then up instead of up then down. Yeah, all of our Z's are going in the wrong direction, so I'll need to change the direction on those. Step of direction, we just remove the, we either remove or we add the exclamation point to these. So 0 and 2, we're removing the exclamation point, and then 1 and 3, we're adding the exclamation point to the direction. And we'll verify that these are now going down then up, which that one is. And the back right one is. Rear left is going in the right direction now. And the front one is going in the right direction now. Okay, and I'm going to quadruple check real fast. Did we set up centerless homing for X? Uncomment if using in-stop switches. We are not. We have position in stop and position max, but we're not calling out anything for centerless homing on X. Okay, why? So I think our directions are going in the right way. I think we just Step for Y already registered. Step for X beyond method. Wow, what the heck? Okay, so we didn't have centerless homing set up for X. Oh, and you guys can't even see what I'm doing. I apologize so bad. So this section here was commented out, and it says to uncomment if using in-stop switches. We're not using in-stop switch for X. We're going to be using sensorless homing for X. So I scroll down, it says uncomment for Manta. We're not using the Manta, we're using the Leviathan board. So it says come down here, uncomment for Leviathan, which I did, which sets the CS pin, the SPI bus, the interpolate, run current, and sense resistor for the 5160 driver for X. Oh crap. That's right. We're not using that because we're using the GBB. That would be why that just threw the error. So I did do things right. What I need to do is look at the GBB 15. Okay, so we got rid of some temperature sensors. Motor Y, enable, stop pin, UART, interpolate, run current sense. X, step, direction, enable pin. The end stop pin was called out. We're not using the end stop pin. And we should be using diag and setting up for sensorless homing. Oof to me. Is there a method of setting up an end stop for X here? That's going to be painful. Okay, so that goes like that. EB5 is the diag pin if using sensorless homing. So we need to set up the virtual end stop for sensorless homing. And God, it's been a while. I'm going to cheat a bit. Here to X and use the right command at the very least. .3209 for stepper underscore X, virtual end stop, TMC 2209, stepper X. We are going to need the diag pin called out here. which is PB5, which is the diag pin of the TMC driver. We're going to need the stall guard threshold. Come over here and grab the syntax from over here. Don't know what just happened there. All right, don't know what's going on here as to why all of a sudden it decided to stop talking. Okay. Printer, thank you. Going to scroll down here to X. I'm going to snag that line. Back to the GBB 15, all the way down at the bottom here. We've got the diag pin. Let's throw the stall guard threshold. I'm going to start around 50. This 255 is the max, and I think 50, 55 is around that right area. I'm just going to try and home X. Okay, so it's not sensitive enough, so we need to increase the sensitivity. We'll go up to 60. And it could very well be that it's going pretty fast as well. Right, let me see something here on the UART true run current sense resistor. Right. We'll give that a shot again. Better, getting closer. Let's go to 70. We'll save and restart. Move our tool head back over during that process. And let's try and home X again. Still hitting pretty hard. So I do know in some printers that you can, well, not in some printers, we can adjust the homing speed. I'd have to sit there and figure out how to do all that good stuff again. I know I've got it on a couple of my printers where it will adjust the homing speed to make it slower during the home, so you don't have to jam it as hard. It'll reduce the current and the homing speed. Flipper shutdown. Why did it shut down? Lost communication with the toolhead board. Ay, ay, ay. The fun times. The fun time. All right. Clipper's still not starting. Okay. So I may have a loose connection here at the toolhead board. Let me myself some space here. Oh, and there we go. I just had one of the wires broke. Hey, bearded printer, how's it going? The power wire broke. Well, that sucks. Donkey donks. So I will have to fix that. Um, yeah. So we're gonna have to fix that. I've got a switch that I'm gonna have to swap out because the switch is, yeah, the switch is a bit flicky. Don't like the way that that's going. Not on mains power. So I've got to fix the tool head cable that just broke. I've got to swap that switch out. I have a spare switch here, so that's no big deal. I'll swap that out, and then we'll come back and we'll start working on this. I need to do the PZ probe wiring before we can go too much further. And that is going to require waiting till tomorrow when some new cables come in. So maybe that's what we do Saturday morning down at Ecovate. So Waters, I'm actually talking about bringing a couple of things down with me and streaming from the store before everything gets started up Saturday morning. There's probably going to be a stream tomorrow as well because, well, I'm off. So why not? But for now, I am going to go ahead and call it quits. Let me see who's out there that we can raid into. If you can't tell, I'm trying to get back down to two and a half. 3 hours max on the weekdays, just because, well, life, and needing to do some other things. So I am trying to get better at managing my time on these streams. Not a lot of people up and running. Ooh, Fuzzy's up. We haven't been over to Fuzzy in a long while. He seems to be working on something CAD-wise, potentially for use on a Bamboo H2D. Awesome, Jedi Spidey. So the project that I've been teasing on shorts and some of the other things, I will bring that. I should have it printed by Saturday, so I'll bring that with me as well. But we're going to head over to Fuzzy here, and please join me as we raid over, show some love to another fellow creator, and I will see you guys at some point tomorrow, and then again on Saturday morning. So thank you all for being here, and you guys have a great evening, and we'll see you guys later. Bye now. For those of you that's watching this later on over on YouTube, thank you so much for sticking around. If you like the content, please be sure to hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe as well, and click that bell to be notified of future videos. Speaking of future videos, YouTube's going to be suggesting another one for you right here.